Bueno, mi mejor amigo está jugando WoW. Está jugando nuevamente un poquito de Elden Ring. Y me dijo, mira, ¿viste Fellowship? Es como WoW, Dungeon nada más. Vamos a ver qué es esto. Yo no les voy a mentir. Yo no le meto a WoW desde... ¿Cuál fue la...? Esto es Burning Crusade, Lich King. No recuerdo cuál fue la última expansión de esa. Creo que fue en la tercera expansión que yo me retiré de WoW. Luego estuvimos en Real Reborn. Jugamos DC Universe. Jugamos Two Moons. Jugamos un par de juegos. Creo que eran... No recuerdo para aquel tiempo si eran chinos o coreanos. MMO, ¿sabes? Yo literalmente andaba por las páginas por ahí en Google chequeando. Bueno, aquel tiempo era Mozilla Firefox que andaba metido. Chequeando a ver qué había salido, qué había nuevo para jugar, qué era free to play, qué no era free to play. Antes había, no les voy a mentir, par de free to play bien exagerados que literalmente eran free to play MMO. Pero luego se extinguieron con el tiempo. Nada, vamos a ver esto, a ver qué es la que hay. Fellowship. Ok.
Fellowship is a co-op dungeon crawler, or as some may call it, a MODA, a multiplayer
wow.
online dungeon adventure. It heavily focuses on powering up your hero by collecting and upgrading gear found within dungeons that scale in difficulty. The main goal, use every ability at your disposal and rely on your team to defeat all enemies and bosses as efficiently as possible. If you've seen your favorite streamer or friends talk about this game and you've wondered, what even is this game? Then this video is for you.
No les voy a mentir. Esto es lo mejor que existe para la gente que lo que quiere hacer dungeon nada más.
Entirely on scalable 4-player dungeons with 1 tank, 2 DPS, and 1 healer, fighting through waves of enemies and bosses for loot. There's no open world, no leveling system, and no campaign. If you've ever played World of Warcraft Mythic Plus dungeons, this setup will feel immediately familiar. As players progress, dungeons ramp up in difficulty, introducing modifiers, curses, and timers to keep everyone on their toes. Each dungeon requires players to kill a certain number of enemies to reach 100% completion, also known as the kill score. Then defeat a final boss, or multiple bosses, to claim rewards. Throughout the dungeon, you'll find campfires that act as respawn points once you clear the nearby enemies and interact with the campfire to light it. If you skip these, you'll respawn all the way back at the start of the dungeon each time you die. So unless you're very confident that you will make it through to the end without a single death, make sure to grab them as you go. Some tanks may choose to skip them to save time, and since the tank controls the pace, well, you might not just have any say. Just try to stay alive and keep up.
Okay.
Fellowship currently features 3 main game modes. Let's break them down. Quick play is the easiest mode, perfect for learning the ropes in a low-stress environment. You'll earn supplies and marks of fellowship, 2 currencies used to buy gear, upgrade materials, and cosmetics. Quick play
se parece un montón a WoW, sí. Wow.
Pairs you with any players in the game regardless of power
Se parece un
level,
montón a
making
WoW.
it ideal for beginners or quick farming sessions. Each quick play dungeon features 1 boss and can be completed rather quickly if a few players know the routes.
En verdad, si yo juego esto es healer full.
Challenger mode is where the real grind begins.
Okay.
Loot becomes the focus here. You'll need to reach a kill score of 100% and defeat the boss or bosses, if it's a capstone dungeon, within the time limit to maximize rewards. Timers begin at Contender +4 difficulty, so before that, you only need full completion and a boss kill, just like quick play. Failing the timer still grants loot, but less of it. It's also worth noting that the longer it takes you to complete the dungeon after the timer has expired, the less valuable loot you will get. There are no
Diablo, so tienes un timer y todo.
Costs or penalties for dying, unlike WoW's Mythic Plus dungeons. Challenger dungeons scale from +1 to +7, with the +7 being a capstone dungeon. Capstones feature 3 bosses and must be completed within the time limit and with a 100% kill score to advance to the next league. The leagues are as follows. Contender, which introduces timer and new enemy or boss abilities. Adept, which adds curses, which are modifiers to abilities that make enemies even more difficult by increasing the number of debuffs and overall damage output. And Champion and Paragon, which pushes the difficulty even further, increasing enemy health and damage while stacking curses. Higher leagues offer greater rewards and stronger gear, which you'll upgrade through the blacksmith to boost item level and stats. This continuous cycle of improvement.
Ese sistema de luteo, eso literalmente es... Eso es vicio, eso es tecata. ¿Sabes? Eso es... Wow, adicto. ¿Sabes? El grinding, de eso nada más de verlo.
Improving gear and clearing harder dungeons is how you'll eventually unlock the final mode, Eternal Mode, which unlocks after completing the Paragon Capstone Dungeon. There's
What?
very little information about it, as it's the true endgame and extremely difficult to reach. You can't solo queue here. A pre-made is required, and Eternal Mode has an uncapped difficulty but capped rewards for leaderboard placement. Think of it like the pit from Diablo. Endlessly scaling difficulty for players chasing the best possible gear to equip, also known as best in slot gear, and climbing the ranks of the
Item level
leaderboard in the process.
255
Each hero
a
has both a gear score
330.
and a dungeon rating. Gear score reflects your overall item level, while dungeon rating increases when you complete dungeons.
Espérate, le metí un poco, mira, va, par de violeta, no tiene nada mítico todavía, pero...
Your dungeon rating also unlocks extra rewards via the in-game rewards tab and determines your leaderboard position. You can check your leaderboard status or the status of others at the Monument of Legends, which is located directly behind the mission table in the main stronghold. Solo play is possible, just not ideal. When queuing alone, you'll be matched with other solo players or incomplete groups. The queue offers 3 dungeon options, for example, +4, +5, or +6, and the group votes on which one they want to run. Majority rules, so if you're new and other players pick the higher tier dungeon, well, you may just find yourself under-geared. If players leave mid-run, you also can't re-queue, and the dungeon is effectively bricked, meaning it's ruined. So teamwork and communication are key.
Eso es lo único malo, ¿sabes? Yo creo que una de las razones por la que yo dejé de jugar MMO es porque a veces es bien difícil conseguir personas comprometidas con la causa. No es mentira, es la real, ¿sabes? No es fácil tener un buen equipo, un buen tanque, un buen DPS, un buen healer.
Story to speak of. Fellowship is all about mastering teamwork in scalable dungeons. Tanks and DPS must interrupt key abilities to avoid deadly party-wide damage, and healers need to practice calculated healing, predicting incoming damage and pre-shielding, casting your hot abilities, or heals over time, instead of reacting late and draining mana. Every role matters. One weak link in higher difficulties can ruin an entire run. There are currently 9 heroes to choose from.
Normal. Si hay alguien que no sabe lo que tiene que hacer su rol, olvídate de eso, que no van a pasar el dungeon.
5 DPS and 2 healers. You can swap heroes freely while in town, but not mid-dungeon. Your goal is to master at least one hero, learning their abilities, gearing optimally, and helping teammates understand dungeon mechanics. After clearing certain capstone dungeons, you'll unlock stronger gear from the merchant. You will need supplies to buy this gear, making it faster to boost alternate heroes later if you choose to swap. Each hero benefits from specific stat focuses and builds. For example, Vigor, a healer, thrives on critical strike and gear score, while Sylvie benefits from intellect and haste. Experiment with different gear and builds or follow community guides to find the best build for your playstyle. You can change out your talents at any time within the Stronghold and Fellowship, so you're never locked down to one build and you can test things as you go. Fellowship can feel repetitive, but for fans of Mythic Plus Dungeons and World of Warcraft, it offers instant dungeon gameplay without the grind of questing, leveling up, or
la real que si te gusta hacer dungeon, sabes, este juego va a ser la verdadera juqueadera. Sabes, este juego es la verdadera juqueadera. Y más healer, me ha hecho uno de healer aquí, eso es.
Fellowship is a lot of fun for those who enjoy fast-paced mechanics, boss fights, and endless dungeon spam.
Pero aquí viene un montón de gente que no sabe ni lo que tiene que hacer, y eso es el coraje.
Fans look for when getting a new piece of gear or finally completing a tough dungeon that took about 20 runs to beat the timer. While this can be enjoyable, there is also a downside. The queue system has a major flaw, as there really is no penalty for abandoning your team mid-dungeon, since you can't queue while inside.
O sea, tienes un juego de dungeon como este, y si le está yendo mal al corillo, cualquiera se puede ir y ya, sin penalidad. Mira, no, papi, meter una penalidad arrancando de 30 minutos al primero que se vaya. ¿Sabes? Porque ya, si vas a entrar al dungeon a arruinarlo, papi, o sea, de 30 minutos si te fuiste mínimo. Mínimo, vete y cógete un break, relájate. ¿Me entiendes? Qué sé yo, búscate alguito de tomar, qué sé yo, consulta, llama a tus panas. Mira, papi, chico, el dungeon ese me tenía mal, pero bebo, no te va. ¿Sabes? Si tú te vas de un dungeon, papi, tú no sabes. Por eso es la razón por la que yo, para jugar MMO lo pienso. Porque mi tiempo es bien limitado. ¿Sabes? Mi tiempo no es como que yo lo puedo desperdiciar así bien al garete. Y que yo esté 1 hora y pico en un dungeon. Mira, a mí me hicieron avería de estar en dungeon. ¿Sabes? 3 horas y gente irse. Y yo, claro, cabrón. ¿Sabes? 3 horas. Y tú te vas. Nos vas a dejar. Ahora nadie se lleva loot aquí. 3 horas botas. Tú no vas a penalizar a nadie. ¿De qué tú estás? Yo no lo juego. Nada más por eso, yo no lo voy a jugar. ¿Sabes? Papi, yo estoy en un dungeon aquí 2 horas para grandear un loot épico. Y tú te vas. mínimo te vas bloqueado.
You only get rewards for fully completing a dungeon.
Real.
So when someone
Eso yo juego
leaves, you
solo,
basically
a
wasted
veces,
a bunch
en
of
verdad.
time for zero reward. There should be at least some form of deserter or consequence for leaving your team behind. But as of right now, there really is no negative repercussion. Suppose you're a fan of games like World of Warcraft, Diablo, Elden Ring Night Rain, or even MapleStory. In that case, you will
Diablo,
surely enjoy
Maple.
some of the mechanics, features, and
Diablo, yo le metí a Maple, pero duro en el
gameplay
iPod.
that
Para que tengan una idea, en
Fellowship has to
iPod.
offer.
Duro le metí yo a Maple Story. Diablo, yo estuve bien juqueado con Maple.
And that's everything you need to know about Fellowship.
Eso es
If you're
todo. Esto es un poquito más de lo mismo. Honestamente. Lo único que con el flow de WoW y pues un montón de gente que quizás no tiene para estar pagando mensualidad en WoW es el juego perfecto. Honestamente el juego perfecto. Directo a los dungeons. Pero vuelvo y digo que tú te vas a ir en medio de un ¿qué? En medio de un ¿qué? Vuelvo y repito. Mira, yo mínimo bloqueado, la real. No olviden que pueden seguir en donde Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, X3 para que vean todo lo que estamos haciendo. Vacilen con nosotros. Sigo jugando el juego más adictivo para mí este año. Ball X Speed, el juego más adictivo para mí este año. Sin mentirle, los veo, corillo.